Aren't 4 bombardment too many? No. I mean, at least in this deck, you can pitch extra copies to Fury and Seasoned Pyromancer, but Bombardment's nuts. It's like one of the most underplayed cards in the format. It's one of the best sacrifice outlets to ever be printed in Magic's history. It's really, really powerful. You're in the engine of your deck is Goblin Bombardment. You know, it's if you're not playing 4 bombardments, you don't want the 4 Bloodghast, you don't want the 4 Mayhem Devil. It's just like the deck, you know. Is this better than Scam? I mean, my sample. I've played 7 leagues with this deck. I have an 80% win rate. Very good. Very nice. Obviously, to some extent, we've been running well, as you have to run well with any deck with an 80% win rate. Hold on, let me update the title. And I imagine that variance is going to correct somewhat, and you know, you also get some win percentage because people don't know how to play against you. But I've also played a decent amount of like the mid-range versions, and I think I do like this one a little bit more. But it's also in some ways hard to compare the 2 decks because yes, they both play Grief Fury, Malaka Rebirth, Ragavan, Seasoned Pyromancer, but like the archetype is completely different, I think, or almost different, almost completely different. Yeah, Tomb has been really fun. We've won a lot of games with it. It has been like the deciding factor between winning and losing like 4 or 5 games, I think, at this point. And I think that, you know, for a land that enters untapped, taps for black, does deal you a damage, definitely worth the opportunity cost. The main deck is feeling pretty tight. I think that you could maybe build the mana a little bit differently. Specifically, the Den of the Bugbears could potentially just be foregone in favor of better mana, but the Dens are also really good. They're really good. I've said this a few times, but just like playing Malaka Rebirth Grief, playing Fury, playing Spyro, playing Ragavan, playing Den of the Bugbear, like this package of cards makes it way easier to beat cards like Rest in Peace and Pithing Needle, you know? Where like one of the biggest issues with decks like Zombie Bombardment or like Aristocrat strategies is that you're just like really, really cold to hate pieces. But because this deck's the card quality of this deck is really high, you are not nearly as weak to those hate pieces as well. Okay, we're playing against Obosh the Prey Piercer. I guess I'll keep. So it's Ponza. Okay. So I don't think I'm going to Fury the Arbor Elf right now. Although I'm tempted. Yeah, I think I'm just going to pass. Like, I would prefer not to pitch the Bombardment, and I would prefer to get a little bit more value off the Fury. And we're not really that cold to a Blood Moon in this spot, because I can just get a Swamp. Is Obosh good in Ponza? I think the main consideration for playing Obosh and Ponza is not playing Rin in 6, and then some cyber cards like Force of Vigor. I do think Ponza in general has like a lot of issues as an archetype at the moment. Do I want to try any of the new Dominaria cards? The ones that are spoiled, I don't think I saw almost anything that I am very interested in the context of Modern, but I'm sure there will be something. There's always something. I think I'm just passing again. Like, if unless my opponent has like Pillage, I'm just wanting to get more value off this Fury, and again also try to draw like a different red card too, potentially. It's a lot of mana. What's the reason for running this Magus Immunus list, but I never ran it in normal Rakdos? I usually find that my matchup against Titan with normal Rakdos is pretty good, pretty bad in this deck, and this deck isn't playing like very many double black spells besides Bloodghast, which you can discard, so like this deck is very easily capable of casting its spells off of one Swamp, as opposed to like regular Rakdos, which just isn't. Okay, well, It's time. Yeah, Turok also. They could very easily have lightning bolts. They can't have endurance here, or they can't play it if they have it. Play my first big tournament this weekend was SG Balter, Mono Blue Spirits, and Pioneer. Any advice? You know, I get this question every once in a while, but my general advice for anybody playing any tournament is always to try to focus on two things. Try to focus on making sure you played as best as you could, and try to focus on, or I guess three things. Make sure that your deck selection is as good as you could have made it. Make sure that you've played as well as you could have, and then also do make sure that you enjoy yourself, because there really is no point to going to a Magic tournament if you're not going to enjoy yourself. And I'm going to game 2. Maybe we could have drawn Seasoned Pyromancer. And as long as you can accomplish those three things, any tournament should feel like a success. Okay, we're up against Ponza. Ponza's obviously a weird matchup. I'm not sure 100% sure how we're wanting to sideboard here. They're very likely to have a lot of graveyard hate, so you can maybe cut Kroxa, but Kroxa is also really powerful in general. Kroxa is also like one of the few cards that you can't cast through a Moon effect. I think I'll just play like one Terminate over the Kroxa, click Submit. Yeah, you know, the reality is, you know, a lot of times too, like you'll go away from a tournament thinking that you had good deck selection, thinking that you had, you played perfectly, and like sometimes you won't. That won't be true, but that's okay. Like, and again, it's like, even with this mindset, like, do you have good deck selection? Did you have fun? Did you play the best you can? Like these goals are even more so like about improving yourself and getting more out of future tournaments than they are necessarily about putting so much pressure on any specific tournament, if that makes sense. That's just like the method I like to employ to make sure I get the most out of Magic tournaments. But it's on a Mold of 5 and their Gemstones Caverning. What made you choose 4 Rebirth instead of Swim Split of Rebirth and variancy of counters? You can play Rebirth as a land, which is sick. I think that makes it way better than all the other ones. Yeah, we were dead, or we were almost dead. Conceded for psychic damage purposes. Playing Gemstone Caverns in a deck with Obosh is actually kind of weird, right? Okay, so I'm going to attack with Ragavan, see if they want to trade. If they don't, I'll just cast Bombardment, I think. If they do want to trade, I'll Malak Rebirth. Oh, I guess I can actually just go... Ooh. I'm going to cast Klothys. I'm going to cast the God of Destiny. Yeah, she just play Gemstone Obosh. Yeah, I'm not saying it's terrible, but it's also like more reasonable in mono red. But it's just, you know, a lot of times, like I really like Caverns a lot of times when you can play like a good 2-mana spell in turn 1, like the Dice Factory deck. Okay, 1 card in their hand. And a Magus of the Moon. So I didn't get my Swamp last turn, because I was thinking I was going to want to cast Bloodghast after, if they, you know, didn't block. Then me finding the Klothys really... changed my plans, I guess. But here I can go Goblin Bombardment into Grief. not taking a card from my opponent's hand, but I can now kill the Arbor Elf with the bombardment, and then I can either get black mana from the Ragavan, or they can trade the Magus for Ragavan, and then I can get bombardment and Bloodghast going. Pre-combat land drop was a mistake. It was not a mistake because I thought that they were going to block Ragavan with Arbor Elf, and I was just going to Malak Rebirth the Ragavan. It was super intentional. And then if they didn't block, I was really likely to play Bombardment or Bloodghast post-combat, or go Bombardment, Malak Rebirth Ragavan, sack Ragavan to Bombardment. And because I hit Clothis off of Ragavan, which is not something that is like in any way predictable, I think. I got like max punished for it because they also had Magus. But I think it was a good line. Should have been Meyer? No, it shouldn't have been Meyer because there's a chance I wanted to play Bloodghast second main, right? Because like playing Bloodghast second main is like really good against the Moon effect too. I just don't care about a Moon as well. But maybe if I was like committed to play Bombardment, that was fine. But things are fine. Things are fine. Unreal draw. Oh, sorry. I meant to sack the Bloodghast first. Got a little ahead of myself. We're still doing fine. Could have attacked with the Bloodghast this turn also. Somehow we'll manage, I think. Let's flip a Glorybringer. They also multiplied the game and Gemstone Caverns. Okay, game 3, click submit. And it's also like if we hit the Clothis there, it's like they also like have to have a Moon effect in there, like as their like one card too. Hard hand to mulligan. If they do have a Moon effect, we can maybe see some Pyromancer. Probably not a hand we can mull. Yeah, I remember I put a mull to 3 yesterday, and we like they almost won. It was crazy. But I did keep 7 cards this time. Just James, I think the 26 months. It's a long time. Turn 1 Arbor Elf all day, every day. And we got a Stomping Ground instead of a Forest, so maybe a little bit less likely to get a Moon, maybe not. 3rd Village Rites. Yeah, I like the Village Rites art a lot too. I have seen the Blue-White Days Undoing lists going around. I think that this trend of like Blue-White Days Undoing, Dreadhorde Arcanist, Crashing Footfalls, Electro-Dominant Crashing Footfalls is a symptom of the... What is this? Please ignore my sideboarding forgetfulness. Okay. Oh, they need to cut that into play. It's a symptom of the fact that we haven't had any new cards in like 5 months or whatever, and it's a lot of nonsense. But you know, nonsense is fine sometimes. I hope you'll be able to refine the AQ list even more. I recorded my Channel Fireball video with it last night. It went really well. But I think the list. I'm really happy with where the list is. Like, it feels like you almost like only ever lose to. Ooh, interesting. Graven Karen's being awkward. I guess I'm gonna just sack the Witness first, and if I hit a red 1-mana spell, I can play it, or if I hit an Invoke Incarnation, I can play it. Dude, double Bloodghast? Weird. Weird. I can also grief them. I think I want to I think I'm gonna go Mayhem Devil into Grief, kill the Arbor off next turn. Hope they just don't have a Moon. Like, Moon is like currently not that good for them anyways. It's okay, we can lose that on the Unlucky Witness value. How broken do I think Brothers War is going to be? I think Brothers War is very likely to be a super balanced set, to be honest. I haven't seen it, so these kind of like baseless speculation, how broken do you think something's going to be with no context, is usually not the most productive conversation, but set design lately I think set design's been good in Magic for like a year and a half to almost 2 years. Something around that. And so I don't really have much reason to think that things are all of a sudden going to be horrible. Okay, this is fine. So next turn I can go Mayhem Devil, Evoke Grief, kill Arbor Elf, and then take 8. My thoughts on power creep over the years. So yeah, this is everybody. I think the Magic community in general is going through. We're still all traumatized. Oh, brutal. Traumatized from the mistakes of like the 2019-2020 era. Like that, I think I really disliked. I know you just had like Hogak, the Fairy Time Raveler, Karn the Great Creator, Narset, Oko, Arkham's Astrolabe, Mystic Sanctuary, Field of the Dead, Omnath, Veil of Summer, Once Upon a Time. The list like really goes on and on. This is like even in like only the context of Modern, but like these are cards that like were just like never play tested, I think, and we're like very, very frustrated. This turn is actually really difficult. Hold on, I may just pitch the Mayhem Devil and then sack Grief to Village Rites. I think I'll do start off with that. But yeah, again, these are cards that I think were just like legitimately never play tested and or almost not play tested at all, and really poorly designed, way too pushed. Like these are cards are also that like as soon as they're like present in a game, the rest of that game is just about like those cards for the rest of the. Like as soon as an Uro enters the stack, like the rest of the game is just about that one copy of Uro, which I always hated. But I think that since I think Cal Time is like the last set that you could say had those like super crazy design mistakes, like the really egregious ones. But I think that the mistakes were like I also really liked Cal Time. I kind of give that one a pass. But after that, things have been pretty good since like Strixhaven or whatever the next set was. It's okay if you don't like Modern Horizons 2. I really liked like almost every single card in Modern Horizons 2. I think Ragavan shouldn't have had Dash. Urza Saga either should have been legendary or you shouldn't have been able to make 2 constructs with it. But like those kind of like small, like slightly too pushed, still doesn't need to be banned after like a whole year is really different from an era of like 3 broken cards every single. Oh, companions! I just glossed over companions. I just totally glossed over companions. But like that kind of design dynamic again is just very different from like 3 broken cards a set every single set. You know, minimum. Okay, so I think we'll just go attack with these guys, trade Ragavan for Seasoned Pyromancer, play tapped land, Seasoned Pyromancer. Well, it's great draws. And so yeah, so I think that like the community is still like not over that like year plus of really just awful design. But things have been good for a long time, and I don't really have any reason to think that like design philosophy. Wait, they're not playing Obosh? Why wouldn't you just slam Obosh? Maybe this F6 on accident. Oh, they're gonna Season Pyromancer token. I see. Yeah, I don't really think that things are going to be bad anytime soon, or at least I don't have much reason. I'm going to grief though. Watch this turn. I don't have much reason to think that. Obviously, I don't fucking know. But yeah, that's my general take. Wait, they're okay. You should almost. I don't know why they're trading with Seasoned Pyromancer and not grief either. What's a scam deck? Scam usually refers to abusing Grief and Fury with like Malic Rebirth and or Ephemerate, those kind of effects. It's just kind of like scam is like the fastest way to convey that those cards are in the deck. And maybe not the most efficient, but I think at this point most players know that that's what it refers to. So just trying to. I could maybe say Incarnation instead. I can't get over Uro and Oko in the same standard format. I know. It's just yeah. I agree. That like year of design was horrible, but it's also, you know, the like one thing I've learned from streaming and having these kind of conversations every day is that the Magic player base, no matter what Wizards do, there's like always a group of players that treat like the current environment like it's as bad as 2019, 2020. No matter what's going on, they always act like the sky is falling, like everything's broken. It's just everything's a nightmare. Everything's the worst possible, right? And with those kind of players, there's just like not much like productive conversation to have. I don't think there's like that many of them. But some players always act like the sky is falling, and I think a lot of people are still like wary because of how bad things were for so long, but. Things have been good for a long time. I like the two sets this year, Kamigawa and Streets of New Capenna, in the context of constructed, were two of like the best like designed like constructed sets in the context of like Modern and Pioneer ever. Where you just have like in both sets you have like a handful of cards that are like interesting new additions to decks, nothing like too overly powerful. You have like new staple like Ledger Shredder. It feels like super well designed in the context of Modern. Neon Dynasty really good for limited. I heard it was, you know, not as good for I heard that Capenna wasn't as good for limited. I only did like one sealed event and I had fun. But I also chose Broker for the pre-release. Boseiju is fucked though. I don't know. I think Boseiju is actually like I don't like the design of the Boseiju in the sense that I am not a really big fan of designing like the strictly better basics. Like I in my design philosophy, I really don't like the idea of having those like a land that if you only play one copy of, it's almost just strictly better than the basic outside of the context of Blood Moon. That being said, I think that like what Boseiju mostly does in the format is it's like a pretty fair answer to like Tron and Hammer Time and like Oops All Spells, and is like pretty bad outside of that context, and it's hard for me to like really hate on it too much. But if you dislike it, that's fine. Interested. Yeah. The fact that it enters untapped, taps for a green in the same way a forest does, but has like a huge upside that a forest doesn't have. I don't like that design. Like I also don't like the design of Sokazan, Shinka, like the original ones of these cycles. It's obviously the case that Wizards thinks that these are fine to print and like they're not, you know, cards that shouldn't be printed. It's just like a design philosophy difference. Okay, we have Bombardment, Bloodghast on the play against Yorion deck. Probably going to keep. Very close hand, though. But, like, listening to Luis talk about, you know, obviously he's, like, you know, he does game design for a living. He's, like, way more into it than I am. But, you know, I think that he said this a lot. Balance is really overrated. Balance is really overrated. 80 cards, by the way. And when he first said that, it took me a long time to really understand what that means or like reconcile with it. But the more I think about that thought, balance is really overrated, the more I agree. So I think drawing Village Rites, I want to play Bombardment here, so if my opponent has Prismatic Ending, I can still use the Village Rites for value, but if they Prismatic Ending the Bloodghast, I'm kind of boned. But like interesting game, like balance should be considered. balance is an important concept of game design, but balance is not the most important factor, I think. I think for me, my philosophy would dictate that the most important factor for game design is interesting gameplay and fun and replayability, right? Fire design. And I especially now that I've been playing a lot of Pathfinder, and I'll say my friends really like Pathfinder, like the alternative to D&D, and I really dislike how like overly balanced it feels, and just how everything feels very flat and balanced, as opposed to D&D 5e, which is way more goofy and fun and out there, and also a lot less balanced. But it's all contextual. Everybody likes things differently, and if it's obviously totally fine if you are someone who prefers a much more balanced system than a fun one. I think I'll do this now to play around endurance. Oh, I guess they could still endurance. I think there's balance in Pathfinder. In Pathfinder 2e, at least my experience, like with the DMs that I'm playing with, and my experience playing it, Pathfinder 2e is it's just so overly balanced. Just like everything is just calculated to a T. It feels. But again, it's also like evaluating like RPGs and stuff is kind of always, it's always like kind of pointless because everybody has a different experience with like games like Pathfinder and stuff. I guess I'll sack this to Village Rights, kind of close. With some good value there. I think I'm currently 2-0 or 3-0 against Omnath with the Rakdos Sacrifice deck. I would agree that 5e is balanced. Well, yeah, I mean, 5e is balanced, but it's like balance isn't the priority. And I'm not saying balance is not important. Balance is definitely really important. But what I'm saying is balance is not the most important concept of game design. Opponent only having 1-2 lands after 3 baubles, Ice Fang is tough. I agree that 5e is a balanced game, but like there are some things that are not balanced at all, and the system is okay with that because like fun and like innovation is more prioritized. But again, it's probably also not very good to compare a game like Magic to a game like D&D super hard because they're so different and what their like goals are. I'm also just whenever I talk about game design and this kind of stuff, remember I am, a goofy guy that just plays Magic all day and dropped out of college. I'm not, I'm not like someone like Luis who is like a professional game designer. So I think I'm just gonna hardcast Fury this turn. Maybe I'm supposed to save the fetch land for Bombardment or Mayhem Devil. Probably was. Let's see if they have a second. Oh no, if they have they can't cast Counterspell because they already have their Breeding Pool in play and their Hallowed Fountain. They could have Dress Down though. 80 cards, by the way. Dang it. I guess I'm gonna ignore the Ren, just attack them at this point. Watsy's idea of fun is unbalanced. Yeah, I always hate these kind of takes. They're just like at any moment, just like, but Wizard sucks. Wizard's idea of game design and balance sucks. It's always just feels so circle jerky to me. You know what I mean? It's like, like, do you just hate the game? Wizard's idea of balance is unfun. Like, you just hate the game. Like, I just. You can criticize Wizards. You can have some good opinions about their balance and game design without just like saying nonsensical things like this. Yeah, Wizards bad. Wizards bad. Things that like don't really make any sense if you think about them. Okay, so here I think I'm gonna channel Takanuma so that I can go Grief, Malak Rebirth. Again, there's tons of like really like reasonable and valid and important things to criticize Wizards on that you can do without saying Wizards hates fun. And it's like when you have these kind of conversations that are just like not based in any kind of reality or reasonable thought. It's like your realistic criticism of Wizards as a company, Wizards as game designers, completely falls apart. So maybe my opponent will go double Rin and 6 ping to Grief. I think that would be fine. Okay, they're immediately doing that. They do hate fun, though. I can't argue with that. Still in pretty good shape here. Yeah, I think that might be just my elbow hitting the desk. I'm not sure if that's the static you guys are hearing. Hopefully our Seasoned Pyromancer draws are good. Would love to find another Bombardment. Is 2 Unlucky Witnesses good? I guess it's good. Don't hate having these. I hear the buzz. It could be my computer. I don't know. Every time I have audio issues, it's like multiple people in the chat are either like hearing it or they're trolling, but most of the people can't. I just don't know what's going on. Especially because I never change anything. I try to keep everything exactly the same every single day. Don't move anything. Don't fuck with anything. Don't update the software. Okay, so they pinged an Unlucky Witness, which is good for me. Now I can cast one of these next turn. There's some feedback. Okay, I don't know what to do about it. I'll unplug my mic. Okay. Test. Don't mind if I do. Treat your noises like taxes. Ignore them. Okay. So I think in this matchup I was cutting 1 Fury for 1 Voidwalker, and I think that's still what I'm gonna do. This matchup has been pretty good. It is kind of weird to just play a game plan like this, which is just play creatures and stuff, and you're like good against Omnath, but the matchup has felt good. I think I'm 2-0 or 3-0 against it before this round. Okay, we'll keep this. Turn 1 Village Rites Grief if we want to, which we probably will. Ever considered tuning up 8-Whack for competitive Modern play? I have a list with Urza Saga that's been successful. I mean, nothing is ever out of the question. I guess I'll cast the Ragavan instead. If they have Rin and 6, it's obviously worse to do this, though. But if they had Veil of Summer, it's worse to Grief. But here's also the thing too. Like this is not what I do. I don't just like take 8-Whack and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make 8-Whack a good deck in Modern. I never set out to make something good in Modern, to tune something up for competitive play, as you put it. My goal is always, or almost always, to try to innovate and try to find something that is kind of inherently competitive. Try to find a combination of cards that's underplayed, underexplored, and maximize that underexplored idea. And 8-Whack is not a deck that's underexplored. You know what I mean? It's a deck. It's like a good budget deck. It's fine. But it is also a strategy that I don't think has much like room to be a super powerful Modern strategy either. Okay, good to draw a Draw a 1-mana red spell there. So they have counterspell up. We'll probably be like totally fine trading a Spyro for a counterspell on this board. This deck seems almost too clean and simple to be good, but apparently is good. Yeah, that's like definitely also been my exact thoughts about this deck, is that it just seems too obvious. It just seems too obvious, but I've said this a few times too. Like I think your best brews, your best deck ideas will seem obvious. They'll seem like, oh, I can't believe I've never tried this. I can't believe nobody's tried this, or I've never seen this before. Because you know, it doesn't always have to be like the Dice Factory deck that's like 1,000 moving pieces, and this is how you make a brew in Modern, is you have to find Magistrate Scepter, and then you have to play 7 keys in the main deck and 1 in the side for Karn. This is the secret to building a good Modern deck. It's just all of these crazy moving pieces. It's all been so clear. You've just been too dumb to see it. You have to have a million. It has to be so complicated, but no. The reality is, simpler is gooder.
What's up?
Simpler is really often gooder, is my experience. The keys are the key of all of this. Mayhem Devil, interesting. Where's my Tomb of Arami? Taco Upheaval. Okay, now I have to figure out what card is Taco. Is this the reality chip to Taco? Get back to me. Okay, this is a hardcast Solitude, I see. Solitude's good here. Got some good draws, including that one. Your Taco, okay. I don't know, I just saw the Bolas in your name. I'm always staring at Bolas's. Okay, so I think that playing Upheaval in the 8 Moonsnare Springleaf Drum Shell is interesting. I think that you've got some cool stuff going on. I think you're in 80 cards. 80 cards, by the way. I would play 4 Springleaf Drum before the first Mox Amber and 4 Moonsnare Prototype before the first Mox Amber. You could maybe get away with 2 Ambers. I know that you have... Everybody be cool. Everybody be cool. I guess we hold the tomb. So my opponent doesn't know that I'm about to blow up the world. Everybody be cool. I would just switch the numbers on Mox Amber chip. I hate the reality chip and these decks where you're just like spending 2 mana on it, and then you're spending 3 mana to equip. It's just so slow. It's just so slow. I really don't like it. No fetch land. Oh, they haven't Holy Heat though. Dang it. Their draws have been really good this game. The last card is Yorion. Probably gonna go to game 3. Yeah, we're not going to beat this Yorion. Conceding for my own mental health and lack of psychic damage. You should play 4 Urza Sagas. I really don't like the chips. You know, you have Emery, you have Urza as legends for Mox Amber. I don't know how big a plan. Part of your plan, the Mox Ambers need to be. I would play the 4th Saga over an island for sure. Almost for sure. Okay, you're also not playing any Thoughtcasts. I feel like I'd just be cutting the reality chips for Thoughtcasts. Okay, at least 3. Maybe cut the 3rd side for another Thoughtcast, and just... You could also play one Mox Amber as a Saga target. I mean, you never really want to draw 2 anyways, and you can tutor 1 with your... Saga. As far as the sideboard goes, I really like Flusterstorm a lot as like your counterspell on the sideboard of these decks, because in my experience, you almost exclusively want that kind of counter spell effect for Cascade decks and almost nothing else. So I just kind of like to jam 4 Flusterstorm a lot of the time in these lists, and I like to play Ashiok a lot too, because Titan's really tough, and you can cast Ashiok on turn 2 with a drum. You can look at like my mono blue affinity list in the Stream Decker. You can see how to build the deck, I guess, Or build the sideboard. That'd probably be very similar. And also, I guess, how I build the mono blue affinity deck, which would not be with Upheaval, but Upheaval is very cool and hard to just say no way. Okay, so let's just go cast Bombardment, cast Ragavan, I think. If they Ice Fang, then I can seize Empowerments or kill Ice Fang, attack with Ragavan next turn. Oh yeah, I always really liked and I always liked that card, the Hard Evidence with the Moon Snare Springleaf Drum, but it's worse with Upheaval. So I think like not playing Upheaval makes sense to not play it. Thought Spike never dashes Monkey on turn 2. That's not true. There's spots to do it, but I think in general people dash on turn 2 too often. But especially against like a Wrenn and 6 deck, dashing on turn 2 makes more sense, I think. Would I need an extra mana too? Bodo's incorrect with this interaction. I didn't dash the Ragavan Doom, I just cast it. It might be incorrect, but it wasn't dashed. I dashed it, 2 turns ago. I think with the Bombardment play, I'll just discard 2 Furies. Although Fury to kill an Omnath is kind of nice, but I can kill Omnath with Bombardment if I need to. And also just like hoping they don't have it is, I think, pretty valid here. Can I explain Bant Coco's control game plan is just creature beats time warp plan? Yeah, just like almost every other game plan, generate a lot of value and outgrind them. Supreme Verdict is tough, but Teferi's tough. You got cards though. Amara, 4 months, I could thank you. Opponent's very close to dead. Unless they have Prismatic Ending. Shame on you, opponent. 2 Prismatic Endings in the top 17 cards in an 80 card deck. Just like the worst crime you can commit as a modern player. You knew the Omnath was in the hand, though. always knew this was here. So I'll just take that, kill the Wrenn. Callow, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, how many cards in the deck again? It's tough because we don't get constantly reminded. Okay. Not going to bounce my Grief, are they? Bounce a token. Sure. Then Traverse for Omnath, maybe? I mean, they also didn't have any lands in hand for Omnath. Yeah, they do have Delirium for the Traverse. Hot Gravy Stains, still a very hot username. Thank you for the 7 months. Did I win an RCQ? No. I've started off 5-0 at my last 3 RCQs. I've gone 9th, 2nd, and then like 5th or 6th, whatever I was just lost in the quarters. But I have not given up. I will never give up until I don't qualify, and then at which point I might give up then. Very close to killing my opponent. Put them to 1 here. What's my real name? Ask me for my social security number first. My mother's maiden name. My home address. My favorite childhood pet, which was Smokey. My cat, Smokey. Am I playing in paper? So those 3 tournaments were, I played Bant Coco and Modern, Is It Creativity and Pioneer, and then if this was a black card, that was actually lethal. Is It Creativity and Pioneer, and the other one was a limited Double Masters. A new key, 6 months, thank you. So my opponent's hand is Endurance, 2 mystery cards. Wait, if they have a Traverse, they can Traverse for a fetch land. Gross. Still gonna be hard for them to stabilize, but I mean, this is what I really dislike about the Omnath deck is you get them in this spot so often where it doesn't matter if they have Solitude Ephemerate. It doesn't matter if they have any other card besides Omnath Fetch Land. Like they're just going to die. They're just gonna die, and like these spots are always so frustrating when they can stabilize being at 1 life in these spots. Since you couldn't kill opponent and you thought the killing Teferi, I'm gonna put my opponent to 1. The Teferi doesn't really matter at this point in the game, I think. Okay, they're at 1. I have a Mayhem Devil in play, a Fetch Land in hand, but I think they're gonna kill my Mayhem Devil. But they may be dying anyways here. There is Endurance, 2 mystery cards, Hardcast Solitude. Disgusting. Are they dead? Block here, go to 4. Block here. I believe they're exactly dead. Block here, go to 4. Block here, take 4. They have 2 cards. Their hand's Endurance, though, so Endurance mystery card, so they can't be a Solitude white card. Okay, it feels very good to still win, complaining all the way as usual, but I don't know, just like these spots where they just like Omnath Fetch Land after being a 1 into Solitude are just infuriating. Frog, 10 months, thank you. We also, I think we're undefeated against Omnath. We're either 3-0 or 4-0, I can't remember. I think. Why did they not fetch a Plains? I don't know. What was their fetch land? Did they have a Plains in play? They should have gotten a Plains if they could have. Like Grixis Shadow is really falling off. I'm gonna keep this, I think. Grixis Shadow is really falling off. Murktide is much more resilient to Sanctifier and Vec with Dress Down, Ledger Shredder. Sanctifier is really bad against Living End. Why do Hammer Time players play Sanctifier in the sideboard? It's like, is it just to hurt me and my stupid Rakdos decks? Ooh, we have Fury, Malakir Rebirth against Yawgmoth. You know what I mean? Is it just to hurt me? Burn? Sanctifier is not that good against Burn. It's just 2 minutes. I mean, it's fine. It's like worse than Forge Tinder. Like, if you want a protection from red creature, if your reason for playing this effect is a creature with protection from red, I think you should just be playing. Sorry, I keep losing my train of thought all day today. I think you should just be playing Forge Tinder, right? But it's also like, I'm always, I could be wrong, right? I am like genuinely asking why they play it, because it's always very easy to like have a sideboard card be super good against you. You're like, oh, why do people even play this? Blah, 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 blah. Why do they play this stupid card? But I really don't know. I like genuinely don't know. 4-color creativity with Persist is a tough matchup. Is that really why? That doesn't feel like enough of a reason to play Sanctifier to me, to be honest. Like against Reanimator decks, like I don't know that. I mean, even like only half of the creativity list play Persist, but that is a reason. I do thank you for giving me a reason. I'm just like not sold on it, I guess. As a Hammer player has been running it, it's Murktide. Yeah, so that's the thing, is like Forge Tinder is better against Murktide. Forge Tinder is better against Burn. Sanctifier is better against Creativity, probably, but like I don't know, especially with Ledger Shredder, like the exile part of Sanctifier doesn't matter that much against Murktide anymore, right? For those I'm seeing, most Hammer lists are doing well are not playing Sanctifier. Okay, I see. I still keep getting Sanctified when I play this deck, but maybe I've done it again. Just complained enough to get rid of the card. Yeah, Devil's so good against Yogg. Just like having 2 Mayhem Devils in play in this matchup is very tough for them to beat. Okay. Yeah, I guess I should play the Witness. I I could ping my own witness. I don't think I'm gonna. I can bring the bug ass back next turn. I don't need to bring it back now. This matchup's really good though. This is one of the few matchups where I'm playing against Yawgmoth and I'm not just stressed the entire time. Yawgmoth is such a stressful deck to play against. You're just like, they play so much at instant speed. They can make so much value. They can be so tricky. They have like good interaction with Crystal Endurance. Yawgmoth is can be stressful, but this is a matchup you usually feel really good, and then I think it's better post board. Let me double check my sideboard guide. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's -4 Ragavan, -1 Crooks, -2 Rights, plus these cards. But I might be messing with the Griefs too, and you can get the sideboard guide with the CFB Pro subscription, and then eventually it'll move over to TCG Player, I think. I think they keep calling me to make all the decisions about the merger between TCG Player and... Oh, kind of Spyro. I like that. They keep calling me to make all the decisions about the TCG Player Channel Fireball merger, and I just keep skipping all the meetings. I just keep skipping all the meetings, and they're banging at the door, begging me to make a decision. Matt, through 3 months, appreciate you. Yeah, I would say this is one of the best matchups, if not just like outright the best matchup. Sanctifier is good against Jeskai Phoenix. I know. That's what's so frustrating. Sanctifier is so good against like this deck and Reanimator and Rakdos Midrange, which are all the decks I like to play. Listen, Channel Fireball and TCG Player, I've got a stream today. I'll get back to you next week on the future of the card market empire. What do I think about the merger? I have almost no thoughts on anything, including the merger. I don't know. I don't care really, to be honest. I really like the Channel Fireball crew. That crew is still staying intact. I love working with Maguchi, Reduke, the whole crew. You know, I could list all of them, but there's a lot of them. And then the behind the scenes guys are also really good. They're all just so good to work with. I'm really happy working with Channel Fireball. They're awesome. The group of people are saying the same. If the name's just changing, that's fine. I don't really mind. And you know, maybe we'll unionize TCG Player when we get over there, but for now, not much is changing for me. Could terminate the Hierarch. Although, did they have Veil of Summer because they didn't tap the Hierarch for the Twilight Mire? They might have Veil of Summer. Yeah, I guess we'll play the Voidwalker because it kind of looks like they have it. Oh no, they would have still hired. They should have still tapped the Hierarch. Never mind. Is it? It's an acquisition. I think. I didn't care really, but I believe it's an acquisition. I'm not 100%. So like Esther is actually like really invested though in the whole merger acquisition nonsense, whatever, because she has a business degree and she's like actually interested. Esther not only she has enough degrees for the two of us. She not only didn't drop out of college like I did, but she got her master's too. Enough degrees for the both of us. Yeah, let Esther do the negotiating. I'm really excited for the cooking stream. We're going to do a cooking stream next week for HelloFresh. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Esther also has no filter, so you know, maybe we get a Twitch ban or something, but it'll be fun. They may just keep Channel Fireball as a separate company. Yeah, I am obviously not involved at all, but like Channel Fireball has, I think what it still has mostly going for it is the content side of things. It has a lot of like name recognition. They just traded Stranglegeist for Unlucky Witness with a Voidwalker in play. Let's go. It's got a lot of, I think, name recognition, which you lose if you just delete it, and it also, like, I don't know how hard it's going to be to move all the content over, but yeah, maybe just keeping it is going to be the play. That was the worst trade deal in perhaps the history of trade deals. Maybe it was a bluff attack? I don't know. People basically never bluff attack on Magic Online. Where can I find this list? If you type !deck, it should pop up somewhere. I could rebirth the Voidwalker and then sack it, but then I guess the Young Wolf would still die. What was it bluffing? A removal spell for the Voidwalker, like a Fatal Push. Yeah, I didn't know Reed had done a cooking stream. I know that Nasif has done like non-sponsored cooking streams a couple times. Those are really fun to watch. This deck seems hard to play, especially what to do with the Witness, and then do you have a guide? I do have a guide. It's not, you know, none of the guides can ever be like completely exhaustive, obviously. But I do have a guide that can give you some tips. Did I try Teferi Slows the Sunset of Modern? I mean, no. I mean, that Teferi Slows the Sunset sucks, but it's a combo with Chained Veil and Nykthos in the mono green deck, and I really think it's still like not worth playing, but whatever. I'm gonna keep this, and I'm a little nervous. Always a little nervous to try something new, especially when it comes to the stream. But I think it'll be a good time. I think it'll be a good time. Yeah. I heard, I think today, that I didn't know that Matt Nass was just the creator, but Matt Nass is also the smartest guy ever. I actually really hope that he picks up the the charge counter deck I've been playing. I think he'd really like it. but that's like the main reason I was interested in taking it, is because like it is a game largely made by members of the Magic community, so I think it's like a cool thing to try out. And I'm always like way more likely to, you know, to do something for the community than Raid Shadow Legends type stuff. Yeah, Matt Nass is just like the biggest brain ever. Okay, so we're probably playing against Creativity, just like every matchup against Creativity. It's weird. It's a weird matchup. I guess I'm jamming the Bombardment. I feel like I'm getting Spell Pierce, though. Caleb Gannon's a big fan. That's good to hear. I'm actually a big fan of Caleb Gannon. I really like his cube videos. His I even watch his Penny Dreadful videos from sometimes, because he's just really good to watch. Both of the Calebs are really good, or all of the Calebs in Magic are good. What daytime is the cooking stream? I'm not sure yet. So like next, I still have to. I have a call with them next week to like hammer out the final times, but I'll let you guys know. I want to get tutors to play the Dice Factory deck. Yeah, I think he might like it. I think he might like it. I don't know. Maybe not. Okay. Big draw step this turn. Pretty big draw. Pretty big draw. Yeah, let's just go Bloodghast, sack Bloodghast. Sack Bloodghast. And if my opponent creativities me, it's going to be tricky to win through your creativity, but we can do something like Malik Rebirth or Village Rites or Unlucky Witness right now. And no creativity this turn is really good. Let's go ahead and just Village Rites, I think, at this point. Seasoned Pyromancer and Takenuma. Probably a little bit more likely to just play the land at this point, but we'll see what we draw and move on from there. Mayhem Devil's pretty good. Yeah, let's play our land and get back to Bloodghast. I think I'm going to go this turn Cast Kroxa, Malika Rebirth Kroxa, cast Ragavan. Just play a little bit slower into all this open mana. I've forgotten to do this a few times, but remember when you Malika Rebirth your creature and you're planning to sack it to your Goblin Bombardment, like it's really easy to just let the Kroxa die to the Evoke, but you need to sack it to the Bombardment in these spots instead. Oh, also if my opponent discards a land again, we can attack with our Bloodghast. Okay, can attack with our Bloodghast. Cool. So I guess they're gonna just block it with a token, which would be fine. Did I sack it the second time? Oh, I did. Okay. Like I said, it's easy to miss a trigger or two in this deck. And it's also like doubly difficult to like talk about it while you're doing it. At least for me. Which is maybe not a great characteristic to have as a streamer, I guess. So it looks like they have a Prismari command. If they can creativity X equals 2 next turn, that's going to be hard to beat. I think that we've got a pretty decent chance of beating creativity X equals 1. And they're going to need to have... They need to have land creativity as 2 of their 3 cards. So we'll see. We'll see. There's land. And here's creativity. So almost game over, maybe not quite game over. The thing is, I would really just need to draw a fetch land to have a chance, and I think that's even still not enough. You know, okay. Game two. I think in this matchup, I'm just in on Voidwalker over Fury. Can maybe play 1 Fury over the Kroxa. Could also play like a Terminate. Have I tried Fitting Fables? I haven't tried, but it's like I think Fable is worse than Seasoned Pyromancer and Mayhem Devil in this deck, and I'm not interested in another 3-drop. So I haven't tried because I don't think I want it. Doesn't Magus get them pretty good? I mean, they're a Lightning Bolt deck. They're a Lightning Bolt Prismari command deck, so I'm usually not very inclined to play Magus against Lightning Bolt decks. I don't hate the idea though. Like if you brought in Magus here, like that's obviously somewhat reasonable. Slow hand, but we can keep. This hand's especially good if we draw a land and can just discard Bloodghast to Seasoned Pyromancer. What's on Mold of 6? Overall record with this deck. I think right now we're 5-0, 3-2, and then 5 4-1s in a row. Now we're 3-0 down a game. So would love to just keep at least keep the 80% win rate, but also would not mind breaking out of 4-1 purgatory. Okay, so my opponent definitely has Lightning Bolts. So I feel like dashing this Ragavan is not good. And usually I like to hold Bloodghast for Seasoned Pyromancer if I have the 3rd land, but not having the 3rd land, I'll just cast it. Oh, we have Prismatic Ending? Bummer. Yeah, I think I like Witness, sack, Witness to Village Rights, hope to find a land off the Witness. We do. And then we can just cast Ragavan. Pretty good turn. Kind of unstuck our hand. Dingo had good success with this deck too. Came in 2nd weekend challenge. Well, Dingo was playing like Rakdos mid-range with Grief Fury instead of this deck. But yes, like this package of Grief Fury has been pretty successful. Okay, they don't have Lightning Bolt. They must have Spell Pierce then. They must have Spell Pierce. I think I'm just gonna hardcast Grief. feel like Terminate over push. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing Terminate in the sideboard to be good against, like, specifically Murktide Regents, Archon of Cruelty sometimes, and, but mostly Murktide, and push doesn't hit Murktide. I guess I take the Spell Pierce because my opponent draws a green source. They can go green source, ping Ragavan. I want to be able to Village Rites the Ragavan. It's either that or Prismari Command, probably. I think taking either would be fine, but we're obviously like really ahead here. You played a scam version of Silmar with Devils, I think. Yeah. I mean, the deck Dingo's been playing it's really different. It's like I would say that they're not even like the same archetype, but a good deck for sure. I can try to pull it up. Yeah, like he's playing just like a mid-range deck with main deck Thoughtseize, main deck Lightning Bolt, main deck Terminate, main deck Voidwalker, main deck Seasoned Pyromancer, Blood Moon, Liliana of the Veil. Like, and we are he is a linear deck, or sorry, a non-linear deck with lots of individually powerful cards to in the same Grief Fury package. But I'm playing a linear deck with lots of synergy cards that come together, and so yeah, this is like. You can maybe say this is mid-range combo, but I would even say that this is closer to pure combo than it is mid-range combo. And Dingo's deck, I think, is like very clearly just a mid-range deck. Maybe we should have played Mayhem Devil first, although they probably just respond to it anyways. So they're looting instead of making a treasure to hold a veil, which is fine. I don't think that I'm going to shock in the Blood Crypt to hold up Terminate. Probably just play Den of the Bugbear, tapped. I hear a lot of buzz about linear decks. Can you elaborate more? Super linear deck building, sub-linear decks. I'm too dumb. I didn't graduate college. I don't know what those words mean. But linear decks are usually combo decks, highly synergy-based decks. You could describe Hammer Time, Living In, Tron, Titan, this deck, Reanimator as linear decks. And the non-linear decks are decks like Murktide Regent, 4-color Omnath, Blue-White Control, Grixis Shadow, decks that are playing, threats and answers. Is Deadly Dispute not good enough for this deck or Modern? This deck, I think, very clearly wants Village Rites over Dispute so that on turn 1, you can sacrifice your Grief or Fury and with the Evoke trigger on the stack and not have to wait till turn 2. Deadly Dispute is somewhat playable. I like it specifically if you're playing Anvil. Wait, what? I've forgotten what the Anvil is called. Mayhem? Not Mayhem Anvil. Oni Cult Anvil. Oni Cult Anvil. Okay, I played so much of that card. I can't believe I forgot the name. They don't play 2 Stomping Grounds, right? Surely they don't have 2 Stomping Grounds. I know they have Veil of Summer, but there's no way they have 2 Stomping Grounds. And even if they do, they have to go Fetch Shock. Fetch Shock down to 4, then down to 3. Yeah, they're just the treasure token. Even if they do have it. I'm somewhat interested in second Terminate on the draw, I think. Maybe I'll cut the 3rd Voidwalker. Don't really want to draw 2 on the draw. There's an Anvil deck in Modern. Yeah, it was like something we were working on. This is something I do a lot. When like new cards come out, I work on the new cards. And a lot of the decks I mess around with are like fringe playable, semi-playable. And like this was a deck that I thought was like legitimately good when Lurrus was around. But now Lurrus is banned and you really feel it. But very low to the ground, works with Goblin Engineer, Disciple of the Vault, Cat Oven, Ragavan Squirrel Synthesizer. This deck is sick. I love this deck. The curve is so low. You have so much value, so much power, so fast. But this deck suffered so much from the Lurrus ban, unfortunately. Still get Giganta though. And Giganta, Giganta is 5/5. Lurrus was just a 3/2. both terminates in our opening hand. Would have like much preferred it to be another Voidwalker, but it is what it is. Happy to have one in the hand though. Think Temur Sagavan could work? No. There's like a more complicated answer than just no, but okay, Grief and Village Rites here. So let's Grief, pitching Terminate, then dash Ragavan, kill Rin in 6. Take the Fable. So players who say, Spike, I want to play Temur Sagavan in Modern, this is what I hear. I like the Temur colors, and I think that Urza Saga Rin in 6 is the most powerful card advantage engine in the format. But the problem with, like, why are you playing blue over black? For Counterspell. If you're playing Counterspell, Counterspell is so bad with Urza Saga. It's abysmally bad with Urza Saga. It's like way better to play a black-based, like Rin in 6 Saga deck if you're gonna play if you're gonna play that, and there's like not much reason to do it otherwise. Okay, so my opponent has Spell Pierce, Prismatic Ending in hand. I think I'm gonna just play Seasoned Pyromancer this turn, and then discard Bombardment and Ragavan. It feels bad to discard the Bombardment, but against like specifically Spell Pierce, Prismatic Ending, I think it makes sense. Blue would be for Urza. Well, I mean, when someone says Temur's Ragavan's a Sagavan, that's not what I think. That's not what I think. But at this point, saying you're an artifact-based Urza deck, you know, this is just something more experimental than something I can just theory craft. Flu, thank you for the Twitch Prime, appreciate you. Unlucky Witness seems like the worst card in the deck. Unlucky Witness is nuts. I'm not sure why you're under the impression that it is the worst card in the deck. Unlucky Witness is amazing. But like the reason to play it over this is it's way more synergistic with Village Rites and Goblin Bombardment, which those are synergies you want to maximize. Okay, another Ren in 6. Could be time to just start ignoring that card. I'm saying it's still Spell Pierce, Prismatic Ending, Katria Triumph, Mystery Card. So I think I'm gonna play another Seasoned Pyromancer. Just play so well into into their hand that we know about, and then I think I'm discarding these two cards. Then holding up Village Rites though, and I think I'm ignoring the Ren. How do you feel about 4-color Saga listed 5-0? I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I don't know if I want to see it. Have I trolled a Bombardment build with Carrion Feeder, Supplier, Gravecrawler? Of course, of course. What I like about this deck over a deck like that is that your card quality is much individually more powerful. This is a deck that's playing Ragavan, Seasoned Pyromancer, Grief, Fury, Den of the Bugbear. And that means that you're able to fight through cards like Rest in Peace, Sanctifier and Vac, Pithing Needle, way more often than decks that just crumble to dust when your opponent plays a hate card. Yeah, I think I'm just fine getting this Spell Pierced right now. Oh. Okay. Floats a blue. Blue-red. The Prismatic Ending as Sanctifier, a token. But I do really like zombies, but like zombies, I love to play zombies. I haven't played them on stream in a long time, but zombies is one of my favorite decks to play for sure. Definitely a big pet deck of mine. Untap land would be really good. We can work with that though. We can work with that. I guess maybe I should have played this post combat. Yeah, you can post a quack. That's fine. I'll take a look. Thank you for asking first. Oh, I think I saw. Oh yeah. So when you say 4-color Saga, this deck has actually been like a bit of a meme on the channel because I've actually played against it twice or 2 or 3 times now, and it's looked like it's just so wacky, but. I don't know if they've come close to winning a game. maybe they've won like one game, but it definitely hasn't looked super formidable yet. Oh, I should have played my Mayhem Devil first. Sorry. I think I'm still attacking with the team here. Yeah, the deck is like definitely hilarious. Yeah, so I should have played Mayhem Devil first here. Now I think I'll just play Voidwalker and terminate the Crab token after they crack the clue, because I know they have Spell Pierce, so I don't think like holding up the terminate for an Archon makes much sense. They don't crack the clue. Unreal that they didn't crack the clue there. I guess they just wanted to play for creativity. Their hand is currently Spell Pierce Mystery card. Cycles Trio. I changed after playing the Rainbow deck today. I'm playing in Vegas October. I know I didn't do well with it today. I wouldn't change much either. I've played, you know, about 100 matches with the deck. We ran bad with it today, but I really still I still stamp the list. I don't think that it really needs, or at least there's not much wiggle room. Bring back Bloodghast. You still have Spell Pierce. If they're going to sack the clue, they should do it now. So I can go Bloodghast, ping a Dwarf token, ping a Crab token. Oh, sorry, yeah, so they use Pierce, I think I just pass. I think I just pass. I'll attack with the Seasoned Pyromancer, but they can't sacrifice their clue token. They can't sacrifice their clue token. I don't think. No, I think if I'm going to attack with the Bloodghast, I need to just kill the Dwarf token before it blocks, though. It's like Bloodghast to kill both token. We can kill both tokens at instant speed. And what's cool about what I like about this, opponent doing 2 damage and making a treasure token, and then presumably pinging. Yikes! Not sure if another line was better against this. It's 1 damage short. You could have killed the dwarf in the 3/03. Yeah, but it's like, I don't like. Is that better than just like trying to kill them next turn? Maybe it is. Tough game for sure. You need a big top deck here. Losing the Seasoned Pyromancer here feels bad. They drew like a really relevant spell. Damn it. Okay. Witness, ping you. Why not all at face? If we don't kill the tokens there, if we do just go all at face like you're suggesting, then they get to put 2 Archons into play and we lose. So they're gonna go up to 10 life here. Which means the Bloodghasts do have haste. If I draw a land, I can animate Den of the Bugbear. They block the Den, take 5, then we put them to 1. This is obviously assuming they don't draw anything. Like a Prismari command, which you're dead to. Tough stuff, tough match. I don't think that me like attacking that turn would have been the difference between winning and losing. But I really want to win this match. I really want to win this match and maintain the 4-1 win streak. We have 4-1 the last 5 leagues with this deck. Just maintain 80% win rate. Yeah, I guess if we drew like exactly Bloodstained Mire, if we drew if they bricked there, and we drew Bloodstained Mire, we could have won in that spot. No, you can only do 1 prediction at a time. My move might be Sat Gas when block Spyro with Crab. You keep Mayhem Devil in play. Well, how does that keep Mayhem Devil in play? Because they still top deck Prismari Command and kill Mayhem Devil and ping it. You attacking means you kill both tokens by only spending Blood Gas, which means you missed out on 2 damage or something. You have to do anything. Yes, that's true, but at least there, the difference between 2 damage wasn't the difference between a win and a loss. But I do think the more we're talking about it, the more it seems correct to kill the Dwarf token, point on the Crab token attack at least. Merfolk, huh? Sacrifice Mistcaller until end of turn. If non-token creature would enter the battlefield, if it wasn't cast, exile it instead. Interesting. Good against my... actually not good against Fury, because you just kill this first, right? I guess then they sack it and you can't Malik Rebirth. But it wouldn't beat Ephemerate Fury. That's future sighting. You didn't know Prismari was their top deck, though. Well, I was responding to my opponent saying you keep not my opponent, chat saying you keep Mayhem Devil, right? Like, we still lose Mayhem Devil was my response, unless I don't understand what we're talking about at this point. But I was responding to chatter saying you keep Mayhem Devil this way, but I don't understand how. Again, we keep Mayhem Devil. Sorry for saying Mayhem Devil so many times. So here, if they block, I'm going to Malik Rebirth my Ragavan. And if they sack, then the Ragavan just doesn't die. These deck techs that are like relatively stock blue-white control are kind of tough because, like, you know, all these decisions are pretty reasonable. I haven't been playing a lot of control lately either, so it's also kind of tricky for me to give too many super strong opinions. One thing I really don't like is if I'm saying this, it should hold some weight, is I don't like all these Shark Typhoons right now. Typhoon's like not that good against Murktide. It's not that good against Hammer. It's not that good against Living End. It's not that good against Omnath. And you know what card is really good against Omnath is Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. You know, one of the most common questions I get on this channel is, Spike, I play blue-white control. I'm that one. I'm my whole local meta. I'm playing a ton of blue-white control, and I can't beat 4-color Omnath. But you know how you beat 4-color Omnath is you play more Planeswalkers. You play more Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. You play Jace the Mind Sculptor. And so while I'm not saying definitely like play Jace the Mind Sculptor over Memory Deluge. I am saying play like at least the 3rd Teferi hero in the main deck, and you can maybe go like 0 Typhoons, 4 Hero of Dominaria, and then you have 1 more flex spot to pay with, and you can play like 1, 3rd Memory Deluge or something. But I think in this like 60 card blue white, to have a chance against Omnath, I think you just like always have to slam Teferi on 5. And so even just going -3 Typhoons, +2 Teferi, +1 Memory Deluge seems fine. I'm not really worried about a lack of win conditions in a deck with Solitude, Kihira, Teferi, Hall of the Storm Giants either. I do like the main deck Chalice. I do like 2 main 2 side, that's fine. Crumble to Dust I think is not very good. Your Tron matchup is fine. With just your counterspells, your Dovin's Vetoes, your Archmage's Charms. But you don't need Crumble to Dust. And if you were going to play you could play Alpine Moon, you could play Charmaw. Those would probably be better anyways. Okay. I think I'm going to start off Village Rites Unlucky Witness. Ping this. Unlucky Witness, Raven Cairns. Draw 2 new cards. I guess I want to be able to draw a fetch land to kill this. Are there any Breach, Goryo's, Vengeance builds in Modern? I haven't had like much success with those lately, no. The subtle, yeah, you just have like way too many Tron sideboard cards. Way too many Hammer Time sideboard cards too. Like your Hammer Time matchup's already good. You have 2 Chalice, 2 March, 2 Wear Tear. It's way too much. Way too much. Okay, so we did find the Bloodstained Mire, which is what we were looking for to kill this. We also get 2 more cards in hand. So we go sack here, ping here. I guess I'm going to cast a Bloodghast, although I have 2 Seasoned Pyromancers, so like maybe I would just want to discard them. But since this ban is going to waste, and maybe they can counter my Seasoned Pyromancer, this is probably fine, right? Next step, think of the 13 months. Huh. I can play Mistcaller to counter an Aether Vial activation. That seems fine. This kind of like playing this basically taps my opponent's Aether Vial. I'm not sure exactly what I want to see in the sideboard instead, but I want no crumbles, and I like want you to cut either the Wear Tears or the Marches. And then figure out what you need the sideboard for. Can't they say no? Yeah, but what I'm saying is like I'm spending. Oh, I also get to trigger Mayhem Devil. I'm spending a mana to tap my opponent's Aether Vial. Like they can say no, that's fine, but they just don't get to use the vial to put something into play here. Very funny, funny situation. Mistcaller against an Aether Vial. Your opponent's Mistcaller. Yeah, I could also just keep it in play as a ping, for sure. Ooh, well, I was kind of hoping to just draw land in Tomb of Arami. Hard to say no to Bombardment, though. I think I'm just going to attack with Ragavan and Bloodghast here. Guess if their hand is Force of Negation blue card, we get kind of boned. This is just lethal. Oh yeah, I guess just playing Bloodghast Bombardment is just lethal here. But I've already gone to combat. But if they do have Force of Negation blue card, it's also just better to post-combat this. Oh yeah, I could have also attacked with this Bloodghast. Forgot the haste. Maybe plus 2 disputes. Yeah, plus 2 disputes, maybe like 1 Narset, 2 disputes for 4 color. That makes a lot of sense. That does seem like where you're lacking. Have I been following Marvel Snap at all? Not really. They email me sometimes when do a sponsor stream. I haven't said yes. Can you explain why I don't play Hearst inside instead of Authie's Void Mirror, who plays Chalice bunch versions? Voidwalker is better than Hearst against Living End. Especially because you can sacrifice Voidwalker against Living End. Voidwalker comes back and you can cast Living End off Voidwalker sometimes. And Voidwalker is also better again. Like so, one big part about the Voidwalkers is against decks like Blue-White Control, or specifically Blue-White Control. You can just cut your Furies in matchups that Fury is dead. You can just cut Fury for Voidwalker. And have like a card that's not like dead, like Fury is sometimes just dead. And then you do that while also getting a super good card against Living End. You do that while having a card that's good against Tron, because Voidwalker lets you cast the big stuff. While Hearst just like has like no synergy, or almost no synergy. Okay, oh yeah, I played this matchup before, and I wanted to bring in Terminate, but it's just like, Terminate's not that good against Merfolk. It's okay. Like, I probably went first Terminate over, like, a Kroxa. And I kind of went, like, the Ingachu over Grief number 4, but... I don't think I could maybe play 2 Terminates over, like, Grief 3. But the card's kind of medium in the matchup. Is Subtlety fine? Subtlety's fine, but... I think that Blue-White is usually, like, just totally solid against Tron and Titan, and you don't necessarily need to dedicate that many sideboard slots for it if the decks aren't that popular, and at the time of making this comment, big mana decks are I think on the decline. We haven't played against them almost at all this week. Is Witness good since it likely can't block? I mean, it's good enough. It can block sometimes, and you know, Witness is like, you know, you don't need to block with it for it to be good. It's, you know, the best sacrifice fodder in the format. Think Scam is better than straight red black? For this deck, yes. For like the more mid-range variants, I don't know, maybe. I know Dingo's been doing really well with the mid-range Scam variant. This deck has also been really good. I think we're about to, you know, fingers crossed, maintain that 80% win rate over 8 leagues. Okay, I think this is an example of when I'm going to hold Bloodghast for Seasoned Pyromancer. Hey Spider, how's it going? If Unlucky Witness is this good, I can't wait to see Lucky Witness. Me too. I could hold a Mire for Bloodghast Mayhem Devil. I think I'll play one of them. It's kind of because I can't get basics with both. And Dismember. Would not complain about that. Muta. I think if I attack with this Unlucky Witness, it's like they're never blocking. What have been your toughest matchups? I think Hammer Time is your toughest matchup. It's you know, it's a lot better that you have Fury. Like Fury main and the Pirate Spell Bombs, Terminates, and the one Chewer in the sideboard. You can play against it. But I think it's like easily your worst matchup. Just and it's because Burn just, or sorry, Hammer Time, they just all play like 4 Sanctifier Invex in the sideboard or 3 Sanctifier Invex in the sideboard, despite Grixis Shadow no longer being a popular modern deck. My opponent has activated this too late. You have to activate Mutavault in the declare attacker steps. As soon as you go to, it's not super intuitive, but you have to do that one step sooner. Yeah, the blocks at the very beginning of the block step. That's blocks happen immediately, and there's no room to respond. That being said, my opponent is still trying to block, I think. But we got that damage, baby. You know, when I started this turn, I did say my opponent is never blocking here. And this is not exactly what I meant. I think I'll discard the Ingot Chewer. I guess they can still have a Hearse. Maybe I'll discard a Mountain. But getting the extra token in play is good, and Ingot Chewer is likely not going to be that relevant this game. Drawing some action. Feeling good. Feeling good. Kira. Spinning that grass. That glass. I think I'm going to attack with everybody. Attacking with the elemental token basically translates to 2 damage. I think I'm okay sacking an elemental for 2 damage here. No, I don't play Claim the Firstborn. I don't know. It's just like, Claim is just like not that good at Modern. It was like maybe only playable when Uro was around, but it's just like not a format where everybody's playing 1 to 3 mana creatures. So here I think I'm discarding Malakir Rebirth, Mire, and I'll just play Mounted Unlucky Witness. Okay. Fury, definitely, you know, very good in the matchup, but a bit worse when there's a Kira in play. Cage specifically stops the camp package. Yeah, it doesn't stop Ephemerate, it does stop Malakir Rebirth or another Undying Effect. Kira, Great Grass Toucher. Cavern, Merfolk, Tideshaper, my Den of the Bugbear. No, my, I guess that's, yeah, I guess hitting Cairns is maybe better. 2 mana left for them. We have pretty good attacks this turn. Kind of funny that Kira is a staple of Merfolk, but rarely played in Spirits. Yeah, maybe it's underplayed in Spirits. Yeah, Kira is so 2014. I remember I've lost to this card many times. I've definitely lost to this card a lot. I think Dashing Ragavan here makes some sense. Spirits has a load of other 3s. That's true. It's true. Could you run a Kira in your Bank Coco? I mean, the thing about Bank Coco is like basically every card in that deck draws a card on ETB, or almost all of them give you value when you play them, and so in that way the Bank Company deck is more intrinsically resilient to removal because they're losing value because you've gotten some value off of your creature, and so because of that I don't think it's necessary to play, but you can play it. Okay, so let's, I think Village Rites, doesn't matter which one we sack of the 1 mana creatures here. And then Mayhem Devil and Grief are revealed. Well, guess I'm just definitely casting Mayhem Devil. With this Tomb of Arami in play, although they cut me off of black for seeing the future. For seeing the future here. Oh yeah, Kira's also really bad with Ephemerate and Soul Herder, that's true. So obviously I want to win this game just by drawing a black source and activating Tomb of Arami, but we're also like probably never losing anyways. Oh no, I can activate Tomb next turn. I can go Fury, Evoke Fury, stack the triggers so that or sorry, when it becomes the target of a spell. Oh, okay, I guess it doesn't work. Because I was thinking I could target the Tideshaper with the Mayhem Double trigger first. But now we just drew Malak Rebirth, so things are easier. So just get that first trigger Glass Spend. Then evoke Malak Rebirth here. Resolves. Tomb to pop the Shields of Devil. We can't activate Tomb because it's double black to activate, and this is a island at the moment. And they bounce this with Otawara. Okay. Do just have another red card though. Just have another red card. And they didn't have Subtlety. Should be a win. That pretty 80% win rate maintained. Although we're still stuck in 4-1 purgatory. Our record with this deck is 5-0, 3-2, and now 6 4-1s in a row. We'll take it. We'll take it. Let's open a chest. Reminder, tomorrow I think I'm playing some Bant Company. I haven't played it this week. Wanting to keep fresh with that deck. We're going to do like 4 hours with Bant Company tomorrow, and then I'm doing my first ever sponsored stream with Storybook Brawl, a game made by a lot of members in the Magic community. I am excited. I'm a little nervous to do the first ever sponsored stream, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just giving you guys a heads up for that tomorrow. So I'm going to end the stream a little early.